Body language is much older than spoken language. It is our first language. And although today we are more focused on the words that we use, we still get most of the information through gestures, eye contact, movement of hands, facial expressions, the tone of voice, etc. The moment we miss a piece of that puzzle, it's going to be very hard to get the complete message. And I'm sure you've experienced it now that people wear masks, that without seeing the mouth, you're not sure if you hear it properly, if you understand it properly. So to get a good impression of somebody's message, we need to be physically near to each other. We are never not communicating ourselves non-verbally. You always express your mood, your willingness to talk or not, the way you feel, the way if you like something or not. You cannot really hide it. The moment somebody asks you, "How are you doing?" and you say, "Fine." You use the word fine, but you non-verbally communicated something else. When the words and the non-verbal cues are not aligned, we will trust the non-verbal cues over the words. Because we know that it's actually quite easy to make a mistake with words and to lie. And it's very hard to lie with your non-verbal gestures. The moment what you say and what you express are in line, your communication becomes very powerful. It's important to understand that this takes place mainly subconsciously, meaning without being aware of it. For example, when you meet a new person, subconsciously within a few minutes, you apply a thorough integrity scan. You will look at this new person, subconsciously you will scan this person for, can I trust you? Do I like you? Do you know what you're talking about? Are we similar? And should we get connected? Just a few minutes based on how somebody talks, how somebody moves, how a person makes you feel. Also to me, you applied the same trick. The moment you saw me in the first video, you scanned me. This is what we do to everybody. And then we are left with a feeling, with a gut feeling. Do I trust this person? Do I want to get closer? Should I stay away from this person? So it's important to understand that body language happens through the body and also through yours. So the signals that you pick up about other people are also presented to you physically. So being good at body language means you have a sensitivity for the signals, ability to pick up what is happening around you. And this is not similar as knowing it with your conscious thinking. It's about sensing, about picking up subconsciously. Just to give you an idea how subconscious we actually operate, our conscious thinking is just the tip of the iceberg. Our consciousness refers to all the processes and thoughts and perception and feelings that you are aware of. Your consciousness has a process capacity of 120 kilobytes per second, is estimated. Your subconsciousness are all the processes psychologically, your perception, all your emotional processes that you are not aware of. And this has a process capacity of 11.2 million kilobytes per second. A drastic difference. And a good example is perhaps you once went to a party, pre-corona time, when we could still be packed in a small house all together, talking, playing music. It's loud, it's noisy, and you're trying to have a conversation with the person in front of you. And you're really trying to focus. But then, while you are listening and talking to this person, you hear your name from another conversation. As if you only heard that, suddenly louder than the rest. What actually happens is that in that moment, your ears perceive all the sounds of the room. They all enter your brain. And then your subconscious is processing, is selecting the sounds that are relevant for you, that are important to you. So when you're talking to a person in front of you, this is the sound that you will focus on and hear. But if there's another conversation that is about you, your subconscious basically waves a flag, like, hey, they're talking about you. Just to give an image of the difference between what you know, what you are aware of, and what is actually all happening. Now, our body language happens mainly subconsciously. And the way to get better at body language means that we become more aware of what is already happening. Now, I've been giving trainings on body language for many years, and often people ask me, so where can I read about it? They want to have a book which says, if you lift your eyebrow a little bit, it means this. And if your feet and your knees are moved like this, it means that. You can do that, it's interesting. But you actually know body language so well yourself that it's far more interesting to become more aware of your subconscious supercomputer that is so aware of all the things that are actually happening. So self-awareness, picking up the signals, trying to observe more what is going on will be very helpful and effective to increase your ability to pick up signals and signs. It's important that you understand that for a complete human interaction, we need to be physically close. We communicate emotions and intentions with facial expressions and the tone of our voice. Our faces are very rich in subtle signals and subtle expressions. So by seeing a face, we are able to read the emotions very well, but not only that, we mirror the emotions as well. So the moment somebody is feeling very happy, we start to feel happy as well. It's a reflection. It's a neurological mirror capacity that we have, and it enables us to feel connected to each other. The moment we miss the face, it's very hard to feel connected to another person. The moment you don't hear somebody's voice, it's very hard to give an interpretation to the written words that you read. Be honest. How many of you ever had a fight or a big drama through WhatsApp? It's incomplete communication. It's not full. It's not rich enough to make a good interpretation or conclusion. So we need to see each other. We need to hear each other properly. I'm sure you also experienced a Zoom fatigue during the lockdown. Looking at a screen and seeing a face on a screen is of course not the same information as seeing somebody live. Your brain is working very hard to make sense out of what it sees on a flat screen. But it's a very diluted, watery copy of the real thing. We need to be physically close to get fully connected and feel satisfied about the communication. So keep in mind that the moment you have an emotionally charged message, you shouldn't write an email and you shouldn't use WhatsApp. At least try to call. The moment it's important, at least hear a voice. And if you have the option, at least come together. Because that will give you the complete, rich information about the other person. So people with strong people skills are able to give attention to the people around them. All human beings want to be heard and understood. It's a very basic need that we all have. And the moment you can give that attention first to someone else, you score great points on your likability and trust. Now, attentive listening is something that we can all improve. Even when you're quite a good listener, you can still get better at it. It will reduce the chances of miscommunication, and it will strengthen your bond with the person you're speaking to. Also, keep in mind that if somebody is not listening to you, you feel bad. It's a bad experience. You don't feel respected, you don't feel the person is interested. It has a negative impact. And the moment somebody gives their attention to you, there is a beautiful experience. Now the paradox is that for you to be able to give that attention, you need to be self-aware. You need to see what you're doing and decide differently. This is the last video of the first week. Please make the assignment related to this video, and I wish you a wonderful time with your group, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks.